Hey guys, Valerie Brown here with Realty Edge in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your real estate agent, your go-to for all things real estate in Las Vegas. And today we're going to talk about know before you owe, about the top 5 things you need to know when you're looking for a home. And number 1 is don't go over your budget. Make sure you know your budget and stick to it, because what you qualify for versus what you can actually afford are 2 different things. And these things are really important because if you're buying this home on joint income and one person loses their job, or now they have another job but it doesn't pay as well, you want to make sure you can still comfortably afford your home payment. Number 2, don't skip the inspection. Do not skip the inspection. Absolutely not. Inspection is going to save you time and money. Now, an inspector is going to unearth almost anything that could be wrong with the property, and they're licensed, insured, and bonded. Your peace of mind and your bottom line, your dollar, is really important. So when we talk about having pipes burst or there's mold in the home or things like that, those are really, really important things you want to catch, especially like if you need a whole new roof. That can be very, very expensive, and we don't want to skip that. Number 3, don't waive the appraisal. Who wants to overpay? Even if you're buying cash, it's not typical to get an appraisal, but you should. You don't want to overpay for things, and especially not a home, because if you're paying for cash and you're like, well, what do I care? My house is paid off. Well, you're going to care if you all of a sudden have to sell your home and you put all of your cash and invested this in this property, and then the property's lost its value. And you want to make sure that whatever money you could save on a home, you do save on a home. So don't skip the appraisal. You really, really, really should get an appraisal, even if you're paying cash. I tell everyone that. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, that'll kill the deal. Well, so be it. I don't want to be that way because it's my job to sell a home. But ultimately, if someone is going to kill a deal over an appraisal, or you asking for an appraisal, then that should tell you that the home is overvalued, or that the seller is not confident and they are just demanding a certain dollar amount, and that certain dollar amount may actually not be today's value. That may be next year's value. That may be 20 years from now value. So you want to make sure that you're protecting your bottom line and that you ask for an appraisal. Number 4, spend time in the home. I know in the pandemic era, as I mentioned earlier, people were doing all sorts of stuff. They were seeing the home, buying it off of pictures online, sight unseen. They've never stepped foot in the property. This is a problem because you don't really get to check everything out adequately, and you're on the hook to purchase this home, or you did purchase the home and it doesn't suit your needs whatsoever. Some of those items could be that there's not enough bathrooms, or that the closet space or the storage space isn't adequate. The bedroom sizes are much smaller than the picture showed. And even if you had your agent walk through the home and do a video tour with you, there's nothing like being in the home, seeing the home, feeling the home, observing how it flows and how it feels, how the natural light comes in, how the water pressure is, how tall or low the ceilings are, and any of the finishes that you're really not happy with. The pictures can always paint a different story, but when you get to the property, it can be completely different than the pictures show, and that's always a problem. And especially if you're moving cross country, you want an agent who's going to be keen to those details and make sure they're looking out for you. Always spend time in the home. Look at the closet space. Make sure that you're checking the bedrooms. Make sure you're measuring. Make sure that you understand exactly what you're buying into, what the flow of the home is, what the natural light looks like. And I had a client who just bought a home and he fell in love with it. It's a beautiful home, had beautiful natural lighting, but at night, after he bought it, he lived out of state. At night, when he turned on the bathroom lights, he was like, there's no good lighting in the bathroom. And of course, we only toured it during the daytime while he was in town. And then when he actually moved into the property and got up, it was the middle of the night and the lighting was so dim and it was so dark. So now he's paying to replace the lighting and having that fixed. So there's, no matter how much time you spend in a home, there's always little nuances that you may not pick up on, but by spending time in the home, you may be able to avoid some of these issues and pitfalls. So you know before you owe, because now he has to spend money on lighting that he didn't necessarily want to. And they didn't just have an electrical unit for him to install. The lighting was actually just glowing down from the ceiling, like really soft lighting, but it wasn't above the mirror. It wasn't that bright lighting that he needs. And so he's having to have an electrician come out and install and rewire everything for him, which is costing him a little bit of money. And it's money he wasn't expecting. It's fine. He has the money to pay for it, but it's just something that we didn't catch while we were showing the home. So spending time in the home and observing the small details will really pay off for you in the end. Number 5, do your market research. I cannot stress this enough. You must do your market research, and that involves your agent. That involves your lender. So these are the people who have a pulse on the market. These are the people who are going to have the data that you need, the information that you need. And I can't give financial advice as a real estate agent because I hold a realtor's license, just like a lender can't always give the best real estate advice because he doesn't have a real estate license or she doesn't have a real estate license. But we know the market. And we do this for a living. And so some of the things that we encounter, we can advise you about. But with your agent, with your real estate agent, ask them how long homes are sitting on the market. How many days are homes sitting on the market? How many active homes are available in my search criteria and budget? And of those homes, how many sold last month versus how many are active versus how many are pending and under contract? This is going to be able to give you a little bit of information to help analyze. Hey, we had 300 sell last month and there's only 10 homes available. What you're looking for, we know those 10 homes are going to be gone. But if there was 300 that sold last month, but there's also 300 that are on the market, you have a more balanced market, right? So you want to know what the competition is, what you're up against, and your agent's going to tell you, hey, it's balanced, it's leaning more toward buyers, it's leaning more toward sellers. We have a lot of inventory and it's standing for a little bit longer, which is ultimately going to help you know what your offer is going to look like. The home may be very, very upgraded and worth every single penny it's listed at, but there may be opportunity because their neighbor also has an equally beautiful home and their other neighbor may also have their home up for sale. So there may be opportunity for you to get closing costs or get a reduction on that price or negotiate between the three. There's different avenues that you can take depending on what market it looks like. So if it's a steep seller's market like it was in the pandemic, well, you're going to go back to seeing people waiving inspections, waiving appraisals, paying seller closing costs, doing all these things so that they can win because there's no inventory. But when you have a standing inventory or a plethora of inventory, now the sellers are trying to come to you. Oh, well, I'll give you a closing cost, or I'll buy down your rate, or I'll drop the price. So you have sellers now competing for your interest and entertainment on their home versus all the buyers coming just to them. So it's a balance. And you just have to find out where that market is at, where it's swinging to. Is it more of a buyer's market? Is it more of a seller's market? Is it more balanced and even? So those are the things that you'll want to look at. And I'll have all the details summarized down. And make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the little alert button so you can find out when my next video comes on. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Know Before You Owe.